And welcome to Lakeshore Academy. Today I'm going to really try to break down the whole Thinking Tree Language Arts section of the Thinking Tree Journal books. So I personally do not own the level C yet, but I plan to get it in the future. However, I do have the A and B, and I also have the high school language arts curriculum from Thinking Tree. So I'm missing level C, which is geared towards the older, maybe like middle school and some high school. This is just solely high school. But at any rate, I want to show you the inside of them in case any of you are looking for language arts with Thinking Tree. Of course, I use Thinking Tree, but I also supplement my language arts with other things as well. But I'm going to show you the inside of this particular Thinking Tree journal. What I like is that it has all the spelling words, because this is level A. So this will be for your beginning readers or ones who just learning how to read. Or it can actually be used for your child who may have dyslexia and they're older, but they're not reading or spelling on their grade level yet, so they still need to work on smaller words, and that's perfectly okay. You can actually use both levels as well. So these are the words that you'll be working on. You get them in different formats. Of course, it has the dyslexic friendly font so that I actually see it. What I particularly like about level A is that it not only has pictures, but it also has short poems to build appreciation for poetry for your children. And another thing that I particularly like is the use of semicolons, apostrophes, and everything like that, because I actually use this even though it's below my son's grade level for the aspect of teaching punctuation and why this is here and why that is there. So, so you're going to read this poem together. And then after a while, if you read it more times, your child will actually remember this particular poem. And if you have a child that doesn't remember like that, that's perfectly okay. As long as they get the gist of what's going on. You just have to do whatever fits your particular family, your unique learning style. I like it because the font is big as well. So here you have this story. And then you get it again on this page, and then you have your spelling words. The spelling words are bigger than the regular font, and then you can color those in. And then here are the spelling words on this page, so you're working with them again. What I love about this is because I have a child that need pictures with words. So for him to get the full benefit of it, he need a picture and he need words. So I always look for flashcards that has pictures or information that has vivid pictures and words, not just words, because it tends to overwhelm my son, when he have a whole lot of words and he don't have any visual not concept, but don't have any visual aspect to the content of what they're trying to say. So that's why I particularly like this one, is because it has the word, then it has an example of how that looks, how that word looks. So bird, and then it has a bird. So that's what I like about it. And then you're working with the words again. So you're working with the same words multiple times, which that repetition is very good for children who tend to forget a lot, or just in order to build that word so they can be able to understand it, or at least identify it in other readings other than Thinking Tree. So if they're reading another book, by them using these words so much, when they read another book, they'll identify with that word because they say, hey, I already learned this word in my other book. So it makes it more easier. Also, the child is instructed they can draw. I like how this fade out page is for you to trace. You have it in the bold face, then it's a little bit lighter, and then it's really light. So you're supposed to trace the word. You can draw more poetry, more words, the same format throughout this level A. And then at the end, you have working with those same words, different ways, writing prompts. Pretty cool. So you're getting that writing and spelling words and visual aspect as well. Now the level B, now the A focuses on poetry. The B focuses on literature and poetry. So we're right now in my homeschool, we're doing a whole lot of literature and we're doing poetry as well. So this, although it's level B, it really fit in with what I was trying to do. And even though I have middle schoolers now, it's really fitting in what I want to do. I have all different levels of poetry, from elementary level all the way to high school level. And we dissect and do all of them. So I really like the little stories. And you can tell there's more older, if I'm saying it right. I particularly, when I do this particular journal with my child, with my son, or different words that I don't think he really understands the full meaning of. So I highlight those words and he know, hey, when I get to this word, I need to really pay attention to this particular word. Then it has a coloring sheet. Then the feature that I love about this book is that it has an area where you copy your favorite part or whatever you like in the story. What I like is the story is not that long as well. So if you have a child that is a reluctant reader, don't really like reading, it becomes very stressful, it's very tedious, it's like a tug of war when you're trying to get them to read, this will be perfectly good for them because it's not overdone. It's just enough reading to get the point across, but it's not overwhelming. And they can copy their favorite part, and then actually this is what I like to call my classical conversations section, where they write the part that they like about the particular story, and then on this page they put what was the main point of the story. They can illustrate it and they can draw or talk about their favorite character. And here's the poetry. So it went from literature, and here's the poetry aspect. And you do the same format. Then you go back to literature. So it's giving your child different ways or different approaches to poems and literature. Here's poems, and then they have the copy word with the spelling words where they put in the missing words. So it's helping them learn the poem and identify the missing words at the same time. And it kind of does the same format, going from literature to poetry to spelling. And then you have your own illustrations. They have a cool little section in the back that says write your own stories and poems. So they read all these different poems and literature. So now they can be creative and do their own. So I like this book for that particular reason. So this is the level B. And you can see how it gradually progressed. Now, I don't have the level C book, but like I said, I plan on purchasing it. But I'm going to go ahead and show you the language arts part for high school, because I have an upcoming high schooler, and this book was on sale, and I bought it because I couldn't. It was a really good deal. So this is Vikings vocabulary building exercise and creative composition through historical fiction. So they're going to be learning historical fiction. This book is really totally different from how most of the Thinking Tree books is with the format, but it still kind of keeps the Thinking Tree theme with being creative and learning outside the box, but it's more like a whole course, so to speak. So it starts off telling you the prelude of what's going on in this particular story, what you need, what's important, and it breaks down. I love the pictures. They're so engaging on this. Okay, so then you read the story or stories, and then what I particularly like is helping the child work on grammar and telling them different tips and tricks on how to work with grammar. They have their particular spelling words. It's marked by days, like they have day 1, what they're supposed to do, and then they have their writing for that particular day. Day 2, they have their spelling words that they use as well. So if you're looking for something that is inclusive, you using this book, and you don't have to really search out for a whole lot of other different books, well, this will be good for you. And you can use it for any level you want. It's geared towards high school, but if you have a middle schooler that can do this, it's fine. You like have a child that's into adventure, this would be good for them too. They're working on synonyms. They have their vocabulary words, and it explains directions step by step how they're supposed to do these particular exercises. What I also like is that they're gonna need a thesaurus and a dictionary to work with this book. So that's like really the only outside book you have to use, or you don't have to use. You can use an electronic device and look it up on the dictionary. But I like how they have in the back where the child is actually going to look up these different vocabulary words and write down their definitions. So that's a little different aspect of it that's normally not in Thinking Tree. And what I like here is that if you're a person like me who need a list or need a visual, it has a word list in the back, and it's broken down in weeks. So it lets you know like what you're going to work. And this book's supposed to last for 35 days, but 7 weeks long. But of course, you don't have to follow this format. But if you're a person who needs that, this would be good. Me personally, I adjusted to I can actually make this last longer than 7 weeks. So it's just up to you how you would actually do it, but it's broken down. So that's a neat little concept as well. So I hope this helped you in order to make a decision. I wish I had the C to show you, but I don't. But I will get it in the future. But I hope this helped break down how the language arts part of Thinking Tree works, and how I'm seeing the inside of it give you a better idea or perspective of, is this right for me? Is this a right fit? Or, yes, I want to use this, but I also want to supplement with other resources as well. So I hope this video was informative for you, and I hope it helped. Have a good day.